All right, Detroit Lions trade for Donovan Peoples-Jones, who was not getting used much in Cleveland. The Lions trade a 6th-round pick for Donovan Peoples-Jones, and this is really smart. I know we were looking for a defensive end or a corner. Maybe those positions or those trades just weren't there for Brad Holmes, but we'll get to that in just a second and why I'm not too happy that we didn't get a defensive end or a corner. But we got a wide receiver, and that is actually a position of need. It really is. So let's take a look at it. Detroit adds Peoples-Jones to a wide receiver core that has Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds, and Khalif Raymond. So on the surface, that looks pretty good. Like those are 4 solid receivers, but we know Amon-Ra's number one, the number one target, got to have him. Jameson inconsistent to be, at best. And we'll get to that in just a second. Josh Reynolds and Khalif Raymond. So if one of these guys goes down, Khalif Raymond is just a great, can kind of do it all. But it's like, man, Josh Reynolds, steady. He fumbled last night, but Josh Reynolds, solid as ever. So you can't lose any of like Amon-Ra or Josh Reynolds, because after that, Khalif's a great player, but he's not like your everyday wide receiver. He's kind of a change of pace, special plays for him, backup guy. So it's Amon-Ra and Josh Reynolds. That's it for wide receiver, because Jameson Williams has been too inconsistent to really count on him up to this point. So now you bring in a veteran wide receiver that's been in the league 2-3 years. I think it's about 3 years he's been in the league. In Peoples-Jones, that's a really good, solid receiver. And we'll look at it here. This year, he only has 8 catches in 7 games. For whatever reason, the Cleveland Browns aren't using him. But after a year in which he had 61 catches and almost 1,000 yards. So the guy's like decent, right? So he's had almost 2,000 yards and 8 touchdowns in 4 seasons. 4 seasons. So he's a 2026. The 2026 round pick will be a free agent of the year. Yeah, sorry. So he was a 6th round pick out of Michigan. So look, we're not getting a star wide receiver. We did not make the craziest trade deadline move by any means. This is a depth piece, possible starter type of snaps. But Jameson Williams, we'll go back to him for just a second, has been inconsistent. And yes, he's had some straight up drops, but a lot of it is just Goff is not hitting him. I defend Jameson Williams. I do. And until he plays 10 games in the NFL, I'm going to defend him, because Goff has missed him on a lot of things. So it looks clunky and it's like, oh, Jameson must have ran the wrong route, or come on, Jameson dropped it, when it's thrown at his ankles. And Goff is not used to his speed. Plain and simple. The throw that he missed yesterday when he did the little in motion wheel route thing should have been thrown way earlier. It's behind him. He's full speed going, and it's thrown behind him. Even his long touchdown in the Buccaneers he had to adjust and made a great play, but that should have been thrown another 7 yards out in front of him. He can get to those. It reminds me of Tua and Tyreek Hill when those two first got together. Everyone was blaming Tua. He can't throw it. He can't throw it that far. He can't throw it far enough. They figured it out, and Tua's leading him, and Tyreek's going. Tyreek and Jameson are just completely different. Speed, everything that those two quarterbacks have ever experienced. So Goff will get it. And when he does, it could be crazy. It could be Tyreek Hill type stuff. But again, he's only played 5 games in his career. Let's let him go, get 10 games under his belt, and see where he's at. So if we grade the deals, let's just take a look at it. For the Lions, it's a B. I agree. Cool. Add a little bit of depth. It's a 6th round pick that you give up to give us a little bit of depth, and maybe he can play multiple positions, wide out, special teams, but you just feel better about the wide receiver depth there. For the Browns, a C. And I agree with this, because you would like to get more for him or just hold on to him, but I think a B actually would be a more fair assessment, because he's a free agent at the end of the year anyway. So obviously you were going to move on from him. Elijah Moore, David Bell had come in. You just weren't playing him. He's not going to play. Get him out of here. So for that, it's a C as well. So, sorry, I didn't have the screen pulled up, but they had Lions had it for a B, and then Browns a C, grading the actual trade. So Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think this is a smart move. I think this is absolutely fine. But when you look at defensive end, I mean, yes, we had a lot of sacks against the Raiders, but defensive end is something that concerns me. Because it looked like we had a bunch of defensive ends. It looks like you had Hutchinson. Looks like you had Charles Harris, the Aquara brothers. Looks like we're going to rush from the inside with Pascal and Kaminsky, and like it was all going to be great. And it's kind of there, but it's also kind of not. Again, against the Raiders, it looked awesome. Raiders are, I don't know if they're terrible or if we actually are, really good. I don't know. That was so bad by the Raiders that you just wonder, are they any good at all? But yes, okay, fine, we got sacks, but I'm talking pure edge rushers. We thought we had more than we do. We really only have Hutch. And then for corner, you saw it. Jerry Jacobs, Cam Sutton, they get the game ball after the game. Those are good corners. And when you got good corners, it's just like life's a little bit better because you know who you didn't see on the field? Will Harris. Will Harris is not on the field. That's a good thing. I don't know how he's just kind of on the team still. I think because he is a depth piece at safety, corner, can kind of play everything. Slot's been around, been in the system. But when Will Harris is not on the field, the defense is good. When he's on the field, it's just like, I'm nervous when Will Harris is on the field. So I say that to say, if Cam Sutton or Jerry Jacobs gets hurt in any capacity, we're just kind of in trouble. And I know it's not just one guy on the defense, but it makes a huge difference. We have two corners, and then after that, that's it. Because remember, CJ Gardner-Johnson's out, Mosley's out. Those were our two kind of guys, and so to not have them is concerning. So still very concerned with defensive end and corner. Just am, and just hope that stay healthy. And if we stay healthy, then we're good. And it's just hard to stay healthy for 17, 18, 19 games like we want to. So that's the only concern as we head into the stretch run. Now we go to a bye, which is a great time to have it, rest up. And I would really like to come out of the bye to see the statuses of James Houston and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Is there a chance those guys return this year or not? Because they left the door open for both guys to possibly return, but I also don't know. I don't know. It's almost like they're not, right? Just accept that they're not. So if you're new to the channel, hit us up on X or Twitter, Sports Talk Detroit on there, Facebook as well. We talk Lions and Pistons, but really we're excited about the Pistons, but the Lions are just doing something that we haven't seen in 30 years. So it's a lot of fun, and we've really been staying on that quite a bit. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one, and we'll see all of you on the next one.